Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this video is about the eclipse of the 10th of June 2021. This is going to be a big eclipse, not only affecting the signs it's in, but at least 3 other signs as well. And that is because not only the eclipse is big, but also there are some very, very powerful, harsh, disturbing aspects at the same time of the eclipse. So what I want to do is take things steadily and present things in an orderly way to encompass the great scale and effect of this 10th of June eclipse. So it's the second eclipse of the year. It's a new moon eclipse or solar eclipse in Vedic Taurus at 25 degrees Taurus. That's 19 degrees Western Gemini. And in terms of the super powerful, super wonderful nakshatras, the 27 lunar signs of Vedic astrology, this eclipse is in Mrigashira nakshatra, which is ruled by Mars. Now, people with planets in Vedic Taurus and Vedic Scorpio opposite will feel this eclipse most. Although, as I said, because of the difficult aspects of this time, other signs will be negatively affected. For example, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn, but we'll come to that. Now, eclipse effects are felt for, say, 6 months, certainly, indeed a year. And note that eclipses create a stagnant pool of energy in the heavens where they are, which lasts for, say, up to 2.5 years, and it will be activated when malefic planets transit through that eclipse point, reactivating it. And it's especially important to notice that eclipses are essentially about the undamming of fraught, dammed up energies. So on the Earth level, this is earthquakes or tsunami if it's under the sea. But in terms of our human lives, remember, eclipses can be positive, i.e. undamming and liberating blocked gifts and qualities. Or, of course, eclipses can be very negative experiences because the eclipse smashes states of life or states of consciousness or life scripts that we simply shouldn't have, that are wrong for our life purpose and destiny. So, before I go into the actual detail of this eclipse, I want to remind you that the very difficult aspects between the planets in the heavens at the time of this eclipse mean that it won't only be the eclipse signs of Taurus and Scorpio that are difficult. Capricorn is very fraught because Saturn is there, Pluto is there fighting Saturn, Uranus is square Saturn, Rahu is sending an aspect to Saturn, Mars is in Cancer opposite Saturn. So Capricorns will have a difficult eclipse. Libras will have a difficult eclipse. Cancers will have a difficult eclipse. So I make that as context. We're not just studying the actual eclipse because it activates a network of tension. Now, this eclipse itself is actually conjunct retrograde Mercury, and Mercury retrograde's phenomena are well known, the disturbances to posts, IT and our communication. But it's not only conjunct retrograde Mercury, it's square Neptune. So this will have all the usual Mercury retrograde challenges, but also we could feel very confused at this time. Although the positive is that we could usefully watch out for needed good visions and insights to come to the rescue within the confusion from Neptune energy at this time. Life can, of course, be like that. very mixed. I think from what you've heard already, you can see that it's very important to keep your life simple and get enough rest at the time of this eclipse and in the days following and before. But it's also really important to create space to be open to inspiration that could be pivotal in your life. This is true not just from the eclipse of the 10th of June, but from the last one on the 26th of May. Loads of inspiration is coming through from these eclipses because of the inspirational potentials of Ketu in Scorpio and Neptune in Purvabhadra now. So what I've written in the accompanying blog is that the effects of this eclipse on us will be permeated by other energies and aspects in the heavens at the same time. So it's not just the eclipse is acting as floodgates for a flood of tense, fraught, potentially destructive energies, but where the destruction could produce spiritual growth and inspiration and correction of situations that should no longer continue in our life and in our society. So the first aspect I'd go into is Uranus square Saturn. So Uranus is like the energy of the storming of the Bastille that brought down the rotten French monarchy and aristocracy and created a republic that brought about the uprising of the United States of America against the British Empire. Uranus is square Saturn. And so basically we are feeling such tension now because Uranus is smashing at our blocks. Oh, I must have this definition of myself. Oh, I must live my life this way. Oh, I've got to do my job this way. And yet Uranus is smashing at us, saying, well, you can't. You've got to change. And so change is being fought over by these two very opposite titans, Saturn and Uranus, in the terms of our life scripts, our identity, our patterns of behaviour, our ways of relating. An important aspect, although it won't affect everybody, Chiron is square Venus. Venus is in a very sensitive state, actually. Venus was conjunct Rahu in the heavens on the 18th of May, which made it, for some people, preposterous and driven. And secondly, Venus has been out of bounds since, and thus maverick in its energy. Some people will feel this greatly, depending on Venus in their chart, for example, but others not at all. So it's important to hear this if it affects you, that this could be quite possibly a time for your Venus scripts to surface strongly, in fact, to be healed. We could be confronted with our demons at this time, for them to be healed in the area of Venus. As I've said, Neptune is square Sun, Moon and Mercury. There will be such a challenge as to what is real, but there will be such confusion, particularly if this square aspects some of your natal planets. And at the same time, many will experience, of course, increased sensitivity, increased intuition, increased revelations. Although we have to watch out for the downside of Neptune, as ever, of course, of illusion and delusion, or worse. A very important energy is that Ketu is conjunct the star Antares. This is belligerent and pugnacious, with risk of war and anger. Please hear this. Try to avert it within your life and relationships. And then add to this the explosive fact that Mars is opposite Saturn, Uranus is square Saturn. And of course there are a lot of war hotspots at the time of this eclipse. With Rahu aspecting Saturn at the time of this eclipse, fear, insecurity and driven energies, overload, overload, overload. Very important to be aware that Mars is in the sign of his debilitation, Vedic Capricorn. And of course, as I've said, Mars is opposite Saturn at this time. What a horrible confrontation of very oppositional energies. It can be very angry. Mars saying go, go, go. Saturn saying wait, stop, consolidate. And of course remember that Mars is in the water sign of Cancer. So, moody, confused, all over the place, but still angry. And there could be overreaction and power plays. Yes, you can note that this eclipse actually conjuncts Donald Trump's natal Sun conjunct Rahu, which is at 27 degrees Taurus. And it opposes his moon conjunct Ketu, which is at 27 degrees Scorpio. So this eclipse will result in a huge power urge in Donald Trump. Now, the rest of this video looks at how this eclipse might manifest in your life. So what you do is you look at what house the eclipse is in. What house the eclipse is in counted from your ascendant, your rising sign, but also what house the eclipse is in counted from your natal moon. And it's probably better if you read the accompanying blog, which explains this. So basically for a Taurus, Vedic Taurus ascendant or moon, well, the eclipse is in the first house. And so it will strike at your life essence, your identity, how you project into the world. And it could unleash and undam really wonderful achievements, or it could smash wrong ways you're going about first house matters. An Aries ascendant or moon will have the eclipse in the second house, which is about childhood issues, value issues, and money, and utterance and speech. And more than that, have a look at the blog. So, for Pisces ascendant, the eclipse is in the third house, affecting communications and younger siblings, and also creative energy. And of course, the third house is opposite the ninth house of father, so watch out for father issues. Aquarius ascendant moon, it's in the fourth house of mother, mind, home, ancestry, roots. There could be a move of house. The mother might have a crisis even, or you might just do a lot of DIY at home if you are an Aquarius ascendant or moon. Fifth house, we're now talking about Capricorn. The eclipse is in the fifth house from Capricorn. So this eclipse primarily, watch out for children issues. But also it's about creativity and Purva Punya, past life merit, etc. Look at the blog. Sagittarius ascendant moon, this is in the sixth house of enemies and issues of health and healing. This speaks for itself. The eclipse is affecting those. For a Scorpio ascendant or moon, this eclipse is in the seventh house of marriage. It could undam usefully issues in the marriage, or it could destroy the marriage. And also the eclipse could well affect your spouse strongly, so give loving attention there, it could be needed. Libra is very hit by this eclipse. because the eclipse is in the 8th house from ascendant or moon, and this 8th house is about death and rebirth. It's about the metaphysical and the occult. Negatively, it's about scandal and downfall. There's past life issues. There might be inheritance issues. Sexual issues. Dealing with fears. As I said, read the blog. It's a very sensitive position. Although Libra is having some good influence around the 20th of this month, when Jupiter turns retrograde and both Jupiter and Saturn are casting aspects to Libra. But of course Libra is also having Uranus opposite it, sending this revolution energy. Very complicated. Okay, Virgo ascendant moon. The eclipse is in the 9th house of Father. So, Virgo ascendant moons might want to watch out for their father at this time. But of course, the other 9th house matters are, spirituality and higher learning and unexpected luck. Leo ascendant moon. Okay, this eclipse is in the 10th house of career, livelihood, attainment of results. And so the career could get smashed, perhaps because it should not really be continuing anymore, or it could be tremendously enhanced with promotion and breakthrough. Cancer ascendant moon. Okay, the eclipse is in the 11th house of gains, but watch out for the effect of this Mars in Cancer and Saturn opposite in Capricorn. Lastly, Gemini, the eclipse is in the 12th house. Well, positively, that's retreat, spiritual release, liberation, moksha. It can be endings. And negatively, it's loss, can be foreign travel, danger of expenditure problems. So, it's been a whistle-stop tour, but I hope it's been helpful. This is a very important eclipse, and do have a look at the blog and contact me for a reading. Go to the buy page on my Star Wheel Astrology website. Thank you.